Headshots, welcome back. Today we're gonna check out NFS Most Wanted Redux version 3, an overhaul mod to make the game better in every single possible way. Graphics, it even has some custom handling, and of course customization, and overall look of the game. I'm excited. It actually takes some visual improvements taken from the 360 version, you know, where the developers were still like improving on the game. So look at the cutscenes, they did go through an algorithm, look a lot sharper, you can immediately tell. It's been a while since I've seen all the cutscenes. So let's check it out. First thing you're probably gonna notice is the high definition interface, HD reflections on the cars, different time of day looks on everywhere. The resolution is not controlled by the game anymore, so it doesn't really matter what setting you have once you have the mod installed. This time of day it's definitely a lot darker. I'm not sure if it's dawning or if it's like in the evening, you know? Sunrise or dawn, that's what I meant. And the game is so smooth if you run above 60 FPS and it doesn't have any weird frame lags. The newest widescreen patch makes it possible. Now you combine it with all the visual enhancements of Redux, you get a super smooth experience. Okay, so it was the morning, so now it's like around noon. Oh yeah, I heard I can press V to turn off the visual enhancement, or toggle it on and off. The trees definitely look different though. Usually those are green here. Yeah, I'm not sure if, you know, running it a few more times, you know, usually when you have any kind of AI upscaling or re-rendering of something, you can have multiple pass-throughs trying to fix small errors and stuff. Maybe that could have worked, but no idea what they used. I just remember when I was rendering my own YouTube videos, like I had a double run, like the first run and then the second run that was basically checking if everything works. Dude, the shadow resolution did not translate well. Why are the shadows so blocky? Did you see them freeze? The shadows, they did not look good. I might wanna check the settings again. But the shadow of them 3 looked extremely blocky, like Minecraft level blocky. So, what else? Starter cars. Civic SI, Corolla GTS, the Punto, the Cobalt, Lexus, of course the Golf is back, a Delta. That's about it, we got 7 cars, obviously the 4. You know what, I'm gonna let you guys choose. I might need to cheat myself some money, so I get more cars into my hands. Civic, oh the Civic one, interesting, okay. Civic one over the Delta over the Corolla. Definitely a lot better lifelike colors here. Where the custom cutscenes are bad when the image is still. Like there's definitely some conversion artifacts there, simply probably because of the bitrate. Like some images look worse than before. Like just Sunny there by himself when he's not moving. He looked lower quality than he used to. They say the Civic SI is extremely wide, especially if you compare it to like your usual hatchback Civic. The handling on this thing is really good. It actually has better handling than the Golf. You know, you can very easily turn off the rubber band in the game, but then the opponents become really weak. I think most people are gonna get more fun out of having the normal cops and the normal opponents. And the cooldown, I don't know why the cooldown does the way it does, but basically if you lose the cops during a race, the cooldown after the race is gonna take forever. And it's on a similar level like Heat level 5, considering how long the cooldown is going. It actually might be slightly longer. You know what I like? One mod is always show the cops on the minimap no matter where they are. Usually you have to have some visual sight on the cop in order to get him triggered. So in the optional files there was also something that I added, which is basically extra strong anti-aliasing. That one's available for Nvidia, but something similar is available for the AMD boys, so just look into the folders, you should find it.
Did you forget about me?
I feel like the cops move differently. Like there's certain ways I can move where the cop will stop moving. The visible cops on the radar. Yeah, oh man, that would be so good for speedrunning if you knew exactly where the cop spawns. Like that would be so good. Now it looks like a PlayStation 3 game. True, definitely looks better than Undercover. It's not possible to move this car yet. Dude, I don't know if you can ever do that, but it would be so much fun if you could turn the camera in this mode already, like before you go into the showcase. Gotta say, I should probably look into extra options more anyways, before I start playing. And carbon fiber looks so much more carbon fiber with the mods. And honestly, so strongly that I don't like it, if that makes sense. Can we cut the roof? We can remove the sunroof. Gotta say I like it though. The different style Brembo brakes. And I guess black brand, but I don't really know what it is. Don't think I can zoom in enough to know. Either if you know, you know. But if you don't, I guess you don't. Well, I guess we're gonna take the alternates then. So what's in attachments? That's usually a lot of stuff. It's funny, it actually starts turning here. So that's the seat. We can remove the second seat, which will make a lot of sense. Now if we can remove the rear bank too. Oh yeah, there we go. Sound system. Yeah, sound system with a single seat, I like that. I gotta keep the theme here, man. This is like a Nismo now. Honda Nismo. What exactly is the point of this? Like, what is this? Is it just a mounting point for other stuff? Like, what would be the real world application of this? What do you even have unlocked when you start the game? Gearbox, engine, I assume suspension needs unlocking, NOS probably too. Roof scoops have been, well, they're probably in the default customization options. Gotta say, giving it a little bit of a silver touch, I like that. Of course. Oh, the vinyls are definitely HD. Like, that's super obvious if you ask me. Hey, Razor took our car, we took his car. It is super crisp, because Most Wanted, even if you play it on the high resolution, the textures are limited. So if you not only have high resolution, but also high resolution textures, the game becomes a lot more crisp. They put the Razor's livery? Nah. Every Honda Civic comes with flames by default. Dude, Most Wanted's motion blur is not good. It's a very, very artificial motion blur and it doesn't look good in my opinion. I mean, once it gets to speed, it can keep it, but not as good as the Golf. I think we're already limiting this gearbox. RSX, Miata, Speed 3, Puma, Tegra, Romeo 240. I think this time I'll pick a car. And like I say, I'm in the mood for a... I'm in the mood for RSX. I don't know. It's the new Miata. No, it's not. Nah, I haven't had a 240 in a while. Oh yeah, this time I made sure I had enough money so I can actually customize to my heart's content and buy new cars all the time. Oh, so we might wanna use the unlock hack to have access to all the visual customization too. That looks like an even bigger version of the M3 spoiler. It's actually not that much visual customization for the 240SX. Debug texture. Right, rear, left, top, front. I wonder if there's a bottom too, but I couldn't see it right now. Hey, there's your average livery of Need for Speed Unbound. Gotta say, Izzy's livery works pretty well with a red car. That's not too shabby either. With like a little bit of white everywhere. Finally, Nissan is back in Most Wanted, and it looks great. The car looks like a Marlboro package. I know this thing is familiar somehow. Enjoy these graphics more than the current Need for Speed. That's the problem with the comic art style, you know? A lot of people don't dig it, you know? They don't want to see it. Although that's another mod that I'll play soon. There's a mod that removes the comic elements from Unbound. Is it safe? Are you serious, dude? Yeah, EA is gonna kick your door in and bash you for modding your 17-year-old Need for Speed game. You know, at least I gotta give it to EA that they don't really mind if you mod your games in any way, shape or form. I feel like the only time they will ban you if you lose the money. If you somehow mod the game which ruins the experience for other people, then I think they might ban you, right? If you could hurt potential sales in any way, shape or form. Hey guys, Kuru here. Check out Instant Gaming for cheap game keys. Click the link in the description below. There's a way, yeah, there's a way to change that. Press V. Press V and you get the less dark, more colorful version. So maybe you like this more. This is less dim, more colorful. Those are basically your two options for like general look of the game, which I think is good, you know. I think optionality is the best thing to do, because if you don't like something, you get an alternative. And you know what else is good about optionality? You can shut up haters so easily. Like if someone is like, I don't like that shadowy version, I wish you could turn it off, and then can turn it off. You shut up all those haters because now they have a different option. Because then there's an even smaller subset of people that are like, I don't like anything, but they don't matter anyways. Like the people that can't be pleased, they don't matter. But when you have at least two options where you can choose between A or B and you pick whatever looks nicer to you, then you're gonna make a lot of people already happy. Like in Unbound, they should have just included an option to turn off the comic style stuff, because it's easily possible that mods are already out that allow you to do that. Like that should be in the game. Why? So you can shut up the haters. You know, the people that just go on forums and Twitter and any other social media just to hate on the comic style and ruin the fun for everyone else. You know, just having that option to turn it off would solve the problem. Remake is always the word I want to hear. I don't want to hear remaster anymore, unless it comes from modders. Like modders are way better at remastering. Also, they have no limitations in regards of any copyright, so they can just mod any cars and customizations into the game with no problem. See, that's why I don't want remasters from companies, because they usually do a worse job than modders do. But remake, like remaking the game for new generation of consoles, hell yeah, sign me up. Actually, I might skip the bosses anyways, because it doesn't really matter. It mostly comes down to the cars that I'm gonna use. And at least then I have the ability to finish the game today if I want to. So right now it's between the Silvia and the Golf R32, and third is the Camaro SS. I'm not sure I have enough cash this time around. There's a few cars for the next choice already. And looks like the Silvia is winning. For the JDM fans. Ah, that color is the girl though. That is one awful default color. Yeah, that is neon piss. Like that would have worked for Underground 1 and 2. Not for Most Wanted if you ask me. Ah, the drag version. Oh, the drag version comes with a spoiler. Then we're gonna have to remove. Problem is the stance, you know, like the fitment of the cars looks terrible in this board kit. But I think most of the rear is pretty basic. Okay, now that's kind of cool. I think I'll go with the cooler one this time. Something that's a little bit out there, it's a little bit different to what we usually have. Yeah, let's go with 3. That was the customization for 11,000. I honestly think that the garage needs to be brighter. I think sometimes it's hard to see what's even on the screen. I don't know if you guys have that feeling too, but like I think some parts are very, very dark. Oh yeah, we also have custom sound for all the cars. I mean, I'm not sure if it's all the cars, but for a lot of cars at the very least. Custom engine sounds. I feel like if the Super doesn't have a million customization options, people are gonna riot. Definitely have seen some of these body kits before. It gets wider. Yeah, it drags the body kit, and the fitment with the wheels is not really my thing. Well, if we remove the roof, we gotta add a roll cage for stability. That makes sense. Now we can hang our clothes while we're driving. You know what I generally find sad about like a lot of game development in racing recently? It's like all of those games are not nearly as good as the previous versions, and they seem more and more lazy. The ideas for the game like recycled from the ones before, then trying to add a gimmick to make it look new. That's kind of what Unbound felt like to me. Like it's clearly a copy and paste from Heat, but then they added the comic style effects to make it look different, which I don't think really worked in their favor. Yeah, the German rap in Unbound. I mean, the soundtrack was really an afterthought if you ask me. I'm not sure who did like all the decisions for the soundtrack of Unbound, but there was some weird shit. I don't know, man. I didn't really feel like Horizon 5 was better than 4. Like that was just another copy and paste job. It's just that Horizon 4 was a better game to copy than Heat. Like imagine how mad people would be if you would put a comic style into Forza Horizon. Just imagine that for a second. Because Horizon 5 copied Horizon 4. And Unbound copied Heat. But imagine the shitstorm if you had like a bunch of comic effects in Forza Horizon.
To me, if you remove the comic style, it would be just Heat.
Yeah, well, but I don't have any problems with that. Because that is really what they made. They did make another Heat game. Like, I'm not getting any benefits from the comic art style, if I'm perfectly honest. As I said, I'm okay with the comic art style, but it doesn't give me any positive benefits. If it wasn't in Unbound, it would be the same game to me. And the real problem that I see is that less people buy the game and complain about the comic graphics. You know what's funny? If they were to copy-paste the soundtrack from a previous Need for Speed game, you would have a better retention from the players. I bet a lot of people would complain a lot less if you had the soundtrack from Pro Street, for example, in the new game. Like, you just copy paste any of the black box soundtracks into a new Need for Speed, there would be less complainers. It is the problem. It's super generic music, but I wouldn't even say just generic. It's generic and bad at the same time. Like, most of that music in Unbound isn't even acceptable, right? It's not even acceptable as like generic music. It's just bad. Imagine you could buy this new for 40k. Do we have custom rims for? I don't know if we have custom rims for any cars. I'm probably not gonna fit the JDM style. So which Blacklist member is orange? I guess Taz. What do you guys think of Taz's skyline? Webster's? Webster's kind of orange, yeah. Oh, that's Bull. I always forget that Bull's beta livery actually looks like this. Yes, it actually fits the car kind of well. Also, it reminds me a little bit of the East Rider livery from 80. The Tiger looks good. Rawr. It does lose a lot of its, reflection capability though. We actually might win this anyways. If they fall behind far enough, even the rubber banded speed traps are not gonna save them. We got a chance here, especially if we finish before they even reach that speed trap. We might be fine. Redux, in my opinion, is a great way to replay Most Wanted, right? If you just wanna replay Most Wanted again after a while of being away from the game, I think the Redux mod is great for that. I gotta say, all-wheel drive isn't too bad against the cops. It actually moves a lot like a Golf. Like, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive does pretty good against cops. How much to enjoy Most Wanted? Most Wanted is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to enjoyment. I don't give the game a perfect score, but I guess I can give the enjoyment of the game a 10 out of 10. I don't think you could play a game for 5,000 plus hours if you wouldn't enjoy your time in the game. Imagine being that yellow car driver. All of a sudden the fucking Rhino drops from the sky. Oh, it's actually pretty fast on stock too. This should be a bit faster than my previous car. That is a lot of body kits. What the? 30 body kits. I think I would like this one if it didn't have such a weird exhaust placement. 29 is kind of nice. I can try to find something that I like more. That looks like a Time Attack build right there. But once again, the two exhausts in the middle is not necessarily my favorite style. I think there's a lot more custom spoilers for this car. It's the same NSX from the Pepega mod. Ah, good stuff. It changes the wheel, which is also extremely hard to see. Rubber ducky. 4 rubber ducks. I definitely need some ducks, man. That reminds me so much of isn't that the Burnout livery? Dude, the custom liveries look so good. I think we want to put them on. I think I like that one the most. I mean, if this car's good for something, it's... Whoa! Drag race is shit, that thing accelerates fast. Okay, let's see if we still have a chance somehow. Ah, what is this? Veyron out of nowhere, man. RKO. Nah, didn't get him sideways. Guess I got himself sideways. I'm being pushed right now. Not even doing anything, I'm just steering. It's funny, it actually forces my car into the reverse gear. Again? Hey, I got him! Dude, he just flipped without dying. You can't do it twice. Nobody cheats death twice in a row. You missed the opportunity, bro. Do I prefer older over newer games? It depends, honestly. Some franchises get better over time and some decline. Just like people, man. Some people have their prime when they're 35, some had it when they were 25, At least I guess everyone has that chance to make a comeback. The thing is, I like that the mod is doing this, removing the yellow filter and making the natural colors look better. Because otherwise you just play the same game again. I mean, it's kind of cool if you have a few new cars and customization, but you still keep like the original look of the game. But then it would still feel a bit too samey for me personally. But actually being able to buy locked... Holy shit, why did I get busted? That was actually my first bus. Do I memorize all Need for Speed tracks? I think all of them would be exaggerated and unrealistic, but a lot of them, and most of them. Also depends on the game. There's definitely some Need for Speed games where I don't have as good of an overview as I have in Most Wanted. Now, Pro Street I think is fairly easy to remember. I think it's harder to remember city tracks where you have open worlds. I think they are way harder to remember than a game that only has like the same tracks over and over again, like Pro Street. You know, I would say Most Wanted's map is easier to remember, but at the same time it's also the Need for Speed game that I played the very most. So my bias is way too big when it comes to Most Wanted. Like, I can't be too objective about this kind of stuff. Alright, this time I'm gonna choose the car. Let's see what I can find. Somebody said the LP640. I actually think it's pretty tame for a Lamborghini. You could also get an F40 instead of an F50. But I feel like I've done F40 in the past. I also did F50 in the past. You know what? I want to pick this one instead. The GT3 from, I think, 2000? Okay, maybe I'm not gonna pick it because it doesn't even have body kits. Okay, that thing seems to have like no customization whatsoever. Now I'm disappointed. Okay, I'm not sure if I want the F50 or the F40. Actually, in recent history, I used the F50, so today's 40 time. But pop-up headlights is all we need. Whoa. Super cool. Gotta say, this car handles a bit weirdly, especially when you put down the power. When you go beyond 300, it has a little bit of a delayed steering to it. It's so weird because usually you don't have delay when you steer any car in this game. Like, this is probably one of the cars that has custom physics because it's really delayed, like everything you do. Like, usually Most Wanted cars are a lot more instant when it comes to inputs. This one seems like it has input delay implemented, or the wheels just try to turn extra slowly after you do some inputs. Now, the challenge series is the same. Hot Pursuit Challenges is a completely new challenge series for Most Wanted, which actually looks graphically similar to what you see right now. You know what excites me the most about playing new games? That you have a bunch of engaged people in the chat. A bunch of people that are eager to see the game, want to talk about the new game, you know, that fresh game excitement. I gotta say, I like that feeling probably more than the game itself. Taz is Enzo. If Taz works his entire life, he cannot buy an Enzo. Jewel is beta, wow. So amazing I can't even see it. Okay, I think we're gonna keep it as it is. Interesting seeing an Enzo with FFXK spoilers. But this car actually has some power. Yes, finally good car. To be fair, it did slap on the Junkman parts. Oh, that thing is pulling. It's also higher top speed. Way higher top speed than the Elise. Oh, true, the NOS is super messed up on this car. You're right. Didn't even realize. I was so infatuated by the car's speed that I didn't realize that the NOS flames are like random. It's like a quadruple exhaust left and right behind the car. Here's the theory. The exhaust fumes are so hot it ignites the air behind the car. Get this should probably replace the Jesko in fastest car. I don't even know, man. It's when you hit the NOS that the extra grip kicks in. I guess it's a pretty fun mechanic to get control over your car that's completely out of control. You know, I find that so much more satisfying than just crashing into the wall because you made a mistake. You know, being able to save your car from impending doom. Like, stuff like that is what I'm missing in modern games. Bring back the speed breaker and NOS that is good enough to give you the extra grip you need. Although, a similar mechanic is in Unbound, you know, the yellow, the grip boost I would call it. Because when you boost with that, you immediately grip again. But it's a little more limited in functionality because not only can you not store it for a very long time, it runs out, but you also have to build it up in the first place. Like, sometimes you just have your blue NOS and nothing of the yellow, and yeah, blue one can do this. Okay, here's another thing that I believe developers never ask themselves. I don't think developers ever ask themselves, what would people like to do once they finish the game? Because if you look at any Ghost Need for Speed or Unbound, all of them you are extremely limited on money. So you can't just buy a car and fully upgrade it and do it immediately with 5 other cars, because you're gonna barely have money to do it with one car. Or even better, you wanna test out engines on a car, so you would need all engines bought and fully upgraded with elite parts, which will probably cost you 3 to 4 million for every car. I guess it depends on the car. It can cost you 1 million to like 4 million depending on the car and the engine swaps available. Carbon has that issue too. I know, like, I feel like so often the developers don't really think about this. To have a legit way to earn currency. It's like they're assuming everybody is gonna cheat. But if they assume everybody's gonna cheat, they might as well add a function to have unlimited money once you beat the game. You know, like a lot of games where you wanna just try out stuff, you have like a creator mode where you have unlimited funds where you can just play around, test things and so on. Or even have a cheat that gives you infinite money or everything is free, that kind of stuff. That makes so much more sense, you're done with the game. You don't wanna grind for weeks just to buy a few cars. Yeah, creative mode, it doesn't matter if it's Minecraft or whatever. You know what I mean, right? You're done with the game, you just want to mess around, you want to test things out. Like, the only real option is to cheat. Like, the car just completely loses it. Which I guess makes sense, because the downforce probably doesn't work that well when you go in reverse. Hey! Well, since I'm already used to it, right? Oh yeah, heat level 9 goes back to condition 1 cops. That's so stupid. I mean, it's just, you know, a leftover in the game's code, because the developers never really thought about condition 8. Okay, it's cross with condition 1s. Why would you combine crosses with condition 1 codes? But yeah, if we're talking about like passion, why don't we have like any fun Easter eggs from developers? Let's say you play in a certain way and then, you know, you summon a truck that just slams down on your car and like immediately knocks you out. Something like that, you know? Some kind of gimmick, something fun, where you can really tell the developers actually still have their soul intact. I mean, there's some Easter egg dialogue surrounding the Blacklist and Free GTR and Unbound, but not that good, in my opinion. I'm just saying, it would be nice to see like something in the game just so we can see the developer still has a pulse and some joy for what they're doing. Wait, are we at condition 10? Shit, just realized we have only crosses. Let's see if the out of bounds looks different, because usually whenever mods are involved, the out of bounds looks a little bit different. Still works though. Like, the hitboxes shouldn't change. It usually just changes which are displayed, like which textures. So we're going out of bounds, so we can go further out of bounds. Wow, that minimap is also super HD. What the hell? So far jump to the right. Hey, don't go too far up. Drifting away. You could do this at full speed, but usually too hard to do. 3, 2, 1. GG! Does look pretty good, doesn't it? This is for the German people, because it's gonna be Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. So let's order. So vegetarian for Lisa, fish, meat, and vegetables for me. And yeah, the discount code is POGHELOAD2319. The thing is, if you click on my link, it's gonna be automatically put in. So you see, like, instead of $100, I only pay $50 for my first box. But yeah, basically, it's a cooking box, so they will send you everything that you need to cook the meal. You get the recipe, you get all the groceries, and then you can just cook it. Sleep tight, do come back tomorrow for more, and good night.